Good evening, Noswyl da. Welcome back to Wales in the Movies on the vlog. Croeso nôl I Wales in the Movies at a vlog. One thing you're going to have to get used to if you watch this vlog is my face sitting here blethering on about Welsh stuff, but mainly related to travel experiences. It was, after all, my conversations in the international community which prompted me to start this Here We Nationalist channel. So, I don't apologise for it. Let's talk about Wales, baby. So, Celtic traditions. One thing I've definitely noticed across the world when chatting to dudes is just how visible Ireland and Scotland are compared to how invisible Wales is. When listening to feedback from people everywhere, I've discovered that our Gaelic cousins have got a set of brand images and cultural and sensory expectations that get brought up whenever you mention their names. Ireland, for example, has things like green, the four-leaf clover, the leprechaun, Guinness, and folk music, with bands like the Dubliners, the Pogues, Dropkick Murphys, but also more ethereal music such as bands like Clannad and Enya, whose tunes featured in movies such as Last of the Mohicans and Lord of the Rings. You also get, of course, a certain amount of Irish personality traits that I've counted abroad, one of them being acute accent accentuation. Can you say that? Accent accentuation? I'm not sure if that's a rule of grammar, but anyway, I've just coined it. This accent accentuation seems to come out a lot by men at parties, particularly in the company of attractive females, which can get a little bit annoying. You know what I say? Good for them. They're increasing their country's visibility and they're playing up to certain positive national stereotypes. Of course, another reason why Ireland is so well known across the world is that the country itself has, fought for its freedom in the 20th century and maybe even the 21st century. Now, I'm not going to go there, but regardless what you think about the Troubles, they've definitely increased Ireland's visibility and helped add a feeling of distinctiveness from the very hegemonic Britain/UK. And you can also catch this element in movies such as Michael Collins and In the Name of the Father.
All I'm saying is that you've been a victim all your life. It's about time you started to fight back.
Now, Scotland. So say the word Scotland to people across the world and you'll get hit with a load of familiar warmth. And one thing I can tell you is that the word Braveheart will enter into the conversation within a couple of minutes. And again, I say good for them. As well as things like Braveheart, you'll also get a whole other bunch of brand and sensory expectations such as the Highlands, Scotch whisky, haggis, kilts, Sean Connery and Christopher Lambert. I cannot swim, you Spanish peacock! But also those of us who are geographically closer and thus more aware of the real Scotland have a different set of cultural expectations, such as heroin addiction, alcoholism, being very tight with money, and an obsession with deep frying pizzas. Stay with me here, jockos, I'm only joking on that last bit. Being someone who spent a lot of time in Scotland, particularly Ayrshire, I'm delighted to confirm that the stereotype of the jocks being tight and thrifty with money is 100% false. However, also I'm delighted to confirm that the other stereotypes, such as the alcoholism and a penchant for frying different objects, are totally and gloriously true. These type of stereotypes can often lead to some form of cultural confidence, and again, it's rare to meet a Scottish male who hasn't pushed his accent onto the company of others in a bid to better represent his country, and well done again to them.
I'm not Spanish, I'm Egyptian.
But yeah, Wales, hey. Wales is just a little bit different. We don't really have that type of cultural confidence, and we kind of like to remain invisible, We don't always like to be seen. We wouldn't want to complain now, would we? And we certainly wouldn't want to be called nationalist. Heaven forbid.
I don't know about the Welsh yet, but the Irish have landed.
So, by all means, you can take our lands. And you know what? You can also take our freedom too. It's right over there on the mantelpiece behind the Princess Diana and Charles bone china wedding set.
I am the Princess of Wales. I come as the King's servant and with his authority.
Yet there are some who've made a concerted effort to maintain and preserve Welsh cultural traditions in their daily lives and in their work. And conversely, one area where the Welsh excel, especially in comparison to Ireland and Scotland, is in the area of language. And it's my hope that one day in the future, when Wales decides that it does in fact want to be seen, that the hard work these individuals and groups have put in down the years will finally come to fruition. Men such as J.R. Tolkien, the writer, an Englishman who was born in Sydafrica, but he was a user and a studier of Welsh who used the language of Cymraeg to form the basis of his elven language, Sindarin, which you can hear spoken in The Lord of the Rings by characters such as Arwen and Aragorn. What did they say? He also created the Dwarves of Moria. Now, it's a little bit typical of the Welsh, of course, that these stumpy, short, dark-haired fellas who were obsessed with choir singing and mining are represented in the film by a Welsh actor, John Rhys Davies, who decided for some reason to portray Gimli the dwarf as having a thick Scottish accent.
Let us go through the mines of Moria.
Like I say, sometimes the Welsh just don't want to be seen. If there are two cultural pursuits that are associated with Wales across the world, they are probably mining and choir singing. Yet, there's much more to Wales than this. For example... Okay, so I can't think of many specific ones at the moment, but one thing I've definitely learned more about recently and that I'm very curious of is the Welsh cultural tradition of the Mari Lwyd. I only discovered this a few years ago while doing some research for a documentary I was making, which is called Record. Incidentally, it's on the YouTube channel. It's with Gareth Bonello, the folk musician, and the actress Melissa Berry. It's about the Welsh language, it's about memory, and it's about the souls of Welsh folk, and I'm really, really proud of it. I don't say it very often. Go and check out the movie and subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot. Diolch. So this film I made was based on the life's work of a man called Roy Sayre, who used to work for the Welsh Folk Song Society and travelled around rural Wales. It's a difficult word to say that. Rural. Travelled around rural Wales, recording songs that people were singing that only existed in their memories. They weren't committed to paper, and this is what's called the oral tradition. Anyway, on the front cover of Roy's book, which is called Songs from the Oral Tradition, I spotted this picture. This is the Mari Lwyd. Now, allow me to consult this sacred Celtic folk text in order to regale you with a description of the Mari Lwyd. Okay, so I'm checking out Wikipedia, but it's all the same, isn't it? The Mari Lwyd is a wassailing folk custom found in South Wales. The tradition entails the use of an eponymous hobby horse, which is made from a horse's skull mounted on a pole and carried by an individual hidden under a sackcloth. To the back of the skull is attached a white sheet which drapes down to conceal both the pole and the individual carrying the device. In some instances, the horse's jaw was able to open and close as a result of string or lever attached to it. The custom used to begin at dusk and often lasted late into the night. The Mari Lwyd party consisted of 4 to 7 men, who often had coloured ribbons and rosettes attached to their clothes and sometimes wore a broad sash around the waist. There was usually a smartly dressed leader who carried a staff, stick or whip, and sometimes other stock characters such as the Merry Men, who played music, and Punch and Judy, both played by men with blackened faces. The Mari Lwyd party would approach a house and sing a song in which they requested admittance. The inhabitants of the house would then offer excuses for why the team could not enter. The party would sing a second verse, and the debate between the two sides, known as the punko, would continue until the house's inhabitants ran out of ideas, at which time they were obliged to allow the party entry and to provide them with ale and food. So far it sounds like a mixture of carol singing and the rap battles that you see in the Eminem movie 8 Mile. Once inside, the entertainment continued with the Mari Lwyd running around neighing and snapping its jaws, creating havoc, frightening children and perhaps even adults, while the leader pretended to try and restrain it. The merry men played music and entertained the householders. Preparation for the activity was a communal event, with many locals involving themselves in the decoration of the Mari Lwyd. The Mari Lwyd custom was performed during the winter festivities, specifically around the dates of Christmas and New Year. Now, doesn't this sound interesting and unique? It sounds a little bit dark, a little bit subversive, pretty sinister. and very, very interesting, perhaps with some sexual undertones too. One thing that I couldn't stop thinking when I was reading that is, this sounds like a horror movie in the making. Now, my Christmas wish to all my 921 merry subscribers and the people of Wales and the wider world is that we start pushing Welsh cultural traditions more, discovering them, researching them, reading about them, and most importantly, talking about them. So if this time next year you find yourself answering the door to a slightly overweight geezer nodding a horse's head at your door, please invent your most elaborate excuses before inviting me in and allowing me to brush your kitchen windows and scare your children. Because Wales, it's time to be seen. That is my Christmas wish from Wales in the Movies. Thank you very much for watching my vlog. Diolch yn fawr am gwylio. Blwyddyn newydd da. Happy New Year. And I'll see you later. Gwell ti wedyn.
Right, boys. Wel, taman i'n dawad, gafaidion diniwad, I hofyn am genad, I hofyn am genad.